Okay, we're going to talk about analyzing cash dividends on preferred and common stock. As you see in the problem at the above there, we have Skinner Company began business in June 30, 2007. That time it issued 18,000 shares of $50 par value, 6% cumulative preferred stock, and 90,000 shares of $10 par value common stock. And there was no changes on that. So in A and B, we're going to determine what amount of cash dividends we should pay to each class of stock in 2007, 8, and 2009. So to calculate our preferred, we know we're going to do a little formula here. We're going to take equals our $50 par. So this is where par is important, because that's going to tell you what percentage we're going to issue, or what percentage the cumulative is going to be issued on. So we got times 0.06, so 6%. So 6% of 50 is going to be our dividend per share, which in this case, you can see I'll do that. It's $3 per share. So we're going to have to pay $3 per share per year, times we have 18,000 shares. So our preferred stock dividend that we have to pay every year is going to be $54,000. I'm going to do a little formatting here. Okay, so at 54,000, what's that leave us for our common stock? Well, if we paid 63,000 in 2007, it's just going to be equals our 63,000, that's what we have left, minus our 54,000 that we paid in preferred. So we have 9,000 is going to be the amount of dividends we're going to issue to common stockholders. I'm going to put up here our preferred shares numbers here. So I've got 18,000 and I have 90,000. Just make our formulas a little easier. To calculate our earnings per share, it's just going to take, we're going to do our little formula equals our preferred dividend divided by our number of shares of 18,000, and it's $3 per share. I'm going to make the number of shares absolute with my F4 command, and so that way I can drag the formula down. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to equal, I have my dividends of 9,000 divided by our number of shares, and again I'm going to make that absolute, so I drag the formula down, as you'll see here in a minute. And so we're going to be paying 10 cents per share dividend of common stock. Okay, so then let's go to, we're going to go down to 2008. So 2008, we are paying 0 dividends. Okay, so our preferred is 0, common 0, and we drag this down and we have 0, so no problem there. 2009, we are going to pay out, much better year, we're paying out $378,000 in dividends. Well, remember, we have, since the preferred stock is cumulative, we need to pay not only 2009 but also 2008 preferred dividends. Okay, so I'm going to just do this real easy here. I'm going to copy my formula down to show not only do we have to do our 2008 dividends, but we also have to do 2009. And so I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to take it times my whole formula times 2. Oops, I have one too many there. So we have 108,000 that we are going to pay to preferred stock. That means I'm going to have my 378,000 is the total dollars I have available. I have to subtract out my 2008 and 2009 preferred dividends. Gives me 270,000. I do my dividends per share, which is just taking my preferred dividends divided by our number of shares is $6 for preferred, which averages out to 3 a year, which is supposed to. And then my per share common stock is $3 per share, so 270,000 divided by 9,000. That gives me my preferred shares, or excuse me, my common stock shares. So we can do the same thing in B. So in 2007, In B, we have, instead of paying $63,000 in year one, we're going to pay we're going to pay 0 in 2007. Okay, so we're paying 0. So we know what's going to happen here, right? We're going to go $0 and $0, and of course our dividend per share is also going to be 0. 2008, we are paying something, $108,000 per share. Okay, again, we know what our formula is, and we're going to have to pay 2, so I'm going to actually copy this formula down from before, and because I'm having to pay 2 years again, so I'm paying the $54,000 for 2007 that we did not pay, and $54,000 for 2008, which we need to pay. That's going to leave us 0 for common stock again. So common stock per share comes out to be 0, and $6 per share on the common stock. So 2009, we are paying out $189,000 in dividends. So we are going to pay our normal 1-year payout. Always have to do that first for our preferred stock, and then we're going to take, so we have $189,000 available for dividends. We subtract out our $54,000 that we paid, and that's going to give us $135,000 of dividends, total cash dividends, that are going to our preferred, or to our common stockholders. Our preferred per share dividend is $3. Our common dividend per share is $1.50. So at this point, you can see, based on the startup, just on the dividends, preferred is obviously averaging more. But what this doesn't take into account what the price, market price, etc., on the common stock shares might be doing. So you could have capital appreciation there. But again, the main thing to remember is that when you have cumulative preferred stock, which most preferred stock is, that has to be paid first before any common stock dividends are issued. And that's all we have.